All right, if you follow at MLB Network on X, you'll have seen this yesterday, would have seen this. Who will hit 500 career home runs? You see the leaders right now, the active leaders in baseball. Giancarlo Stanton at the top. Mike Trout at 31 years old at 368. Bryce Harper at 30 years old at 306 home runs. Aaron Judge, hard charging, and if he can stay healthy, he's hitting a ton. Then you look at those guys under 200 home runs. Some of the young studs of the game, can they get to 500 down the road? And so some interesting ones there as you take a look at it. And Keith Costas, who's done such a good job for us breaking down all the numbers. You know, Keith, you look at these numbers here and what was on X yesterday, but there are a lot of offensive categories that we are not represented right now in the game at those elite standards and threshold levels.
Yeah, guys, we were talking about Joey Votto last week, and I pulled up his baseball reference page. I saw his italicized career hit total. I knew what it meant. That means you're the active career leader, but I just couldn't believe it that the number was so low. It got me thinking, take a look at some of these numbers in terms of the active leaders and how far back you have to go since the numbers were this low. We've lost so many stars in their late 30s recently. I mean, starting with the RBIs, you got to go back to the 1920s. RBIs weren't even tracked until 1920, so that's why it's that low for Ruth. Hits, you got to go all the way back to the great Stan Musial more than a half century ago, and back to the late 90s for the home runs with Mark McGwire. So we'll stay focused on the home runs, guys. Going back to that first list we showed, who do we think has the best chance to eventually get to 500, or how many of these guys, rather, do we think will get there?
Well, there's no doubt Stanton's going to get there eventually.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think Trout. I don't see Harper on here. So
He's
here's
at
the
306.
Let me
Harper's
tell you
at
what I look at. All right, how long is the length of those contracts? Because they're going to get an opportunity. Longoria's not going to get there. Votto's not getting there.
No.
Goldschmidt, he might get there, maybe.
35 right now.
Yeah,
35 years old.
I think Nolan gets there, and clearly, just on this board alone, Stanton and Trout. Here's why, and I look at this from Harper. I remember when Bryce Harper signed the 13-year contract with Philly, right? And I went, he's a Hall of Famer. Everybody's like, what do you mean? Well, if you just go 25 home runs a year, it's reachable, attainable.
Sure.
All right, let's see. Harper's at what, 300 something?
306,
right now? 306. He's got, what, 9 years, 10 years left on his deal? Let's just say 25 homers a year for 10 years. That's 250. He's in 500.
Yeah, he needs 20 a year for 10 years to get to the 500.
You know
So you're
what I
right.
mean?
I think it's likely he gets there. Stanton's probably the first one to get there.
Yeah, and I think he's got the ballpark that's going to get him there.
Yeah.
Trout will get there because he's got another 8 years. It's about the contract now.
Yeah, I believe it.
The
I guess stay
contract
healthy.
gives you opportunity to play.
Yeah. Now, what about those guys under 200 home runs right now? Like Pete Alonso's at 192. Now, he's not yet 30 years old. He's a power hitter.
He's been hitting about 30 or 40 a year.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a shot to be able to get there. Take a look at the numbers again. Those guys under 200 home runs.
He's got to keep his
Pete
production
Alonso,
where it's at.
Rafael Devers, I don't know. Ballpark factor may be a little bit of an issue.
I don't see that happening.
Ronald Acuna Jr., I mean, I think that at some point the speed, he'll stop running as much and focus more on the power part of his game. So I think that the home run totals
I think
go up.
he's what? How old is he?
He's 24, 25 now.
So I look at Griffey, right? If you go back and you look at Ken Griffey Jr., all of a sudden he went 40, 40, 50, 50, 40. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to happen with Acuna.
Right.
He's going to get on that stretch where he's going to start hitting 40 a year for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
That makes it happen.
I love Yordan Alvarez too, man. I mean, you look at Acuna there, and look, at some point, he's setting standards with the stolen bases. But what we've seen with players that at some point they dial back the running a little bit because they need to protect their body.
Yeah.
And it does turn into more of the power game for him. But Yordan Alvarez for me, I mean, this guy can hit home runs against lefties, righties. The sweeping breaking ball, he can take it 6 inches off the plate and pull it out to right field.
He's just getting started. So it's a curious case with him. But he will be thrown in that DH slot, and he's going to get a lot of extra at-bats.
Yeah.
Because he's going to DH. Right.
No, that's true. And he'll last longer being able to do that and maybe stay fresher a little bit with it as well. But Pete Alonso, does he get there?
It's going to be the contract negotiation he's in right now will determine that. And does he have the power to do it? He's 31, you said?
Alonso, no, he's younger than that.
I mean,
he's
20,
like 28,
26,
29,
28.
yeah.
So 28, 29, somewhere in that neighborhood. So he's got He's in that stretch where I was talking about. He's getting 40 a year.
Right.
How long can he sustain that?
Right.
Because he can't do it at 20, 25 a year because he's not going to get the at-bats.
Right.
They will
So-
platoon him if he's not hitting 40.
And what team he played for is going to matter too. So we know he's at Citi Field for one more year, but then what if he doesn't sign back there?
Well, and the
Where does
interesting
he go?
thing with his contract negotiations, you're kind of locked in. You got Olson's contract and you got Freddie Freeman. And that's what they're saying.
Right. Right.
Bottom line.
Right. Now, Scott
So-
Boras is saying, I didn't negotiate those other guys' contracts, so they're irrelevant because it wasn't me. Now, you can say that,
The
but it's
fact of
relevant.
the matter is, you better first baseman than them. This
Yeah.
is where their number is.
Yeah.
You might fight it, you can make your case, but if I'm the team, I'm going, who's getting better? Olson's 27, 26?
Right.
Here's his contract.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. I think it's going to be a tough sell. We'll see. If he goes to the open market, somebody else takes his one team to be able to step up and pay him.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that ends up going.